Oh, it's getting cold like sub-zeros here. So let me explain to you guys about the Bible, right? You know why God doesn't destroy the devil and calls him the most handsome of creation out of all the angels? He created him so when he came to earth, we have free will. He cannot possess you. He can only tempt you. That means if you do a crime, imagine this scenario. You and a guy are together. One guy says, hey, you should murder that guy. And you said, you know what? Fuck it. And you go murder the guy. You know what the devil's charge is? Accomplice. You know what yours is? Murder on the first degree. That means your charge is worse than even the devil's. And your excuse is going to be the devil when you have free will, so that excuse doesn't work. You made your choice. Now, a lot of the churches like to make you feel comfortable and say, well, nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen. Well, look at what God just said. Look at the information that just came out and how you're being looked at now. You really think that God isn't angry at you? You really think that there's no consequence when your family is looking at you like that? Do you really think that God will allow you guys to get away with raping kids and selling them for profit? Now, God has the ability to destroy the devil, but why would he want to do that when he sees what you guys are capable of from a whisper? That's why he says he will sort out the mess. All right? And a lot of you fell into the worst booby trap that you can, and you've done it for years, and it's going to be really hard for you to get out of that because God writes down everything in the book of life. And imagine what's in your book right now when he meets you face to face. Now, I'm not the judge, and I'm not none of that. I'm a lawyer. And I'm not your lawyer. I'm on the other side. Do you understand that? So I hope that you have enough excuses and enough good reasons on why you have betrayed God's creation. You know what you are in the Bible? Not even mentioned. See, God created man. He created animals. Even an animal listens to God. An animal. Have you seen lions? Like in the story of Daniel. They threw him in there and God commanded the lions not to do anything to him because that was his son. The lions did not touch him. The devil won't even claim you. You're considered monsters, not even mentioned in the Bible. You know why? Because you created yourself like this. God made you from dirt. You're a man-made creation of yourself and what your decision led you to be. A monster that affects the children's lives and the future for money. You're not even mentioned in the Bible. Do you understand that? Because even animals will listen. Humans are normal pedestrians going through their lives, their daily lives. Yeah. But you're a monster. Not even the devil knows who you are or even gives a shit. He's waiting to meet you face to face. And all the times you blamed him, he's going to use that against you. Do you understand that? What are you willing to do to be in God's good grace before the devil gets you? Now, a lot of you claim honor and all this shit, but if there's anything honorable about you, you're going to fix this mess because your family's going to be looking at you. If there's anything honorable about you, you're going to try to fix this in front of God because he's watching you every day. And here's another thing. All the other countries are also hacking your guys' information to make sure you guys are doing your job. Because they're all curious about why we're number one consumers over here in the United States and they want to figure it out. You guys could have led us to an all-out war that Africa and Russia could have came over here with Mexico and took you guys over if they find out that you guys overrun us. Because if you guys overrun us, that's poor rest of the country. Just like Afghanistan with the kids that you took. Just like in Mexico, the children that you take. You're angering a lot of fucking people. So don't get comfortable with the thought that nothing could happen. Instead, fight the good fight. Something honorable that other countries can actually respect like back in the day. But with today's news, whistleblowers, everything else, corruption. You see, the real reason why everybody makes politics about money is because the poor and the needy can't ever go up there to talk about the real problems. And the rich get to profit because they have a name. So even if their child is a B-brain and they put them in those seats, don't know what the fuck they're doing, it doesn't fucking matter. They say that it's about money, but they're the only ones with the fucking machine. They took advantage of it. They called it power, but only God has true power. Nobody's really asked these hard-hitting questions and thought about it, but now that they know it, and these are real big questions. Questions that haven't ever been asked. Most of the time, you guys have an exit route. You guys left an opening and all that stuff. How many people can one van carry? What? About 8 to 12? Out of the thousands of kids that go missing every year, how many vans would actually have to go missing? Or flipped over or abducted? About 200 to 300,000 vans. None of them reported. Cage clippings? Haven't heard of it. They don't even have weapons to be able to take in there to clip these things. They're in cages with cameras everywhere. Now, we know that it's easy for them to lose people. We know that it's easy for them to do all this, but like I said, is you start looking at them for what it is. You ever look at Pearl Harbor? Pearl Harbor, when we got attacked by Japan, it hit the lives of families. It brought together the biggest strength, the biggest heart that there ever was. By making people look at these people for what they are, real men are going to stand up and fight for their honor, for what their name looks like right now, if there is any honorable men in there. True honor stands on its feet just like Pearl Harbor, and there's no telling what they're willing to do to make sure that their family is secure. Now that everybody has sorted out everything and we know who to watch out for, that means some of you might lose your families and your respect. Your spouses might start leaving you or cheating on you with somebody more honorable behind closed doors. Your children might not even want you or want your will just to destroy whatever it is you work so hard for with children's tears. And if you don't work hard to find out who the fuck is over there destroying your name, you're going to fall with them. And you're going to be looked at like them. And that's how they blended themselves in there with you. Now, if you care about your family, you care about your heart, you care about the country, you're going to stand up and fucking fight. If you don't, you're just going to be looked at like them. Like a monster. Only living to die one day to reach the devil. Now, I am a spiritual lawyer that will find every reason and every single thing that you've ever done to make sure it's that much harder for you to get into heaven. I speak for the children. I speak for the people that have been hurt due to you guys. Because you have made my Father God look like a shamble. You made my Father God look like nothing matters. When He is the all-loving Father God, if you could look at your own child and say it doesn't matter, then you don't know God. That's why you're not Him. And like I said before, all these churches that try to say that God forgives everything, but forgets to remind you that He created a hell for a reason, and that only a third of the church goes because of people like them that mislead you. They forget to remind you that there is a hell that exists, and sexual immoral acts is a form of adultery, doing adulterous acts against those that do not require it. Sex outside of marriage and sex with children. Or selling children, which is also stealing, which is also greed for money. It is also murder because you murder their spirit using trauma. You murder them from Father God because they stop believing in God because of people like you. Your case does not look good right now. And some of you have allowed your brother in arms to make you come down to this. Now, are they really worth protecting that much further? Your higher ranks, they could have done a lot more to stop this, but instead they continue to allow it because you guys are the maggots. Now, either you're going to be maggots and eat these dead corpses inside of the fucking political parties, or you're just going to grow to be one of them. It's up to you. Your family's looking at you. This is broadcasted everywhere, especially in the underground channels that we have. Just like you guys have government TVs that nobody else knows about, we have underground TVs. And everybody's looking. And we have these videos and your evidence on Nokia phones that can no longer be used or any of that. That means these videos are being shown to them behind closed doors. That means they know about it anyways, no matter how you try to stop this. There's no stopping this. The train's going. And it's taking a cargo full of prayers. And you're in trouble now. Because now we reminded people that there is a true God, and now the real prayers are coming up into the skies from the hearts that you all let down and broke. Even in the Bible, it says when one of the devil's children dies, all of the angels and God celebrate, even the people on earth, when the devil dies. What that means is even your ancestors that made it into heaven or your family will celebrate about your death in the heavens, for your treason, for your sickness, for your greed for money instead of honor and respect, for walking away from God, for laughing in God's face, saying that he'll never do anything and that the money is worth it more than justice. You will pay your price in full, either here or on the other side. No matter what, there's no escaping this. There is a hell whether you believe it or not. Those kids had to suffer hell on earth because of you guys. And it's not God's fault because God did not make them to do that. He did not make you to do that. Humans chose that. Why do you think everything man made always has a problem or a flaw, but anything that God has created has no flaws? You have no flaws because you have free will. That means you're flawless. That means you have the ability to stay flawless or become trash with your own hands. You can stay what God has created you to be, a human being, or you could be a man-made trash out on the side of the road that everybody flicks out of their family like a booger and throws out on the freeway just to be looked at. God created the earth with dust. And soon you'll be just like the weeds in the desert that nobody really sees or knows about, unless that one or two people that pass by, just to look at you. You will be as the trash on the side of the freeway, forgotten. A party is going to be celebrated over you. And when they find out who it is, you're going to be the next pharaoh in Egypt with your burial disturbed. Everything you worked hard for, most people will want to destroy because it has children's tears money all over it. Now, like I said, a lot of your kids usually are really fucking assholes making fun of these poor kids all the time. Oh, look at you. You have ADHD. Oh, look at your parents. Oh, they were in jail, this and that. They laugh so much, but now look at what they're looking at you as. Your kids are being known as, your mommy and your daddy sell kids for a living. At least my parents went to jail and we know who they are. You don't even know what your daddy does on a day-to-day. But we do. That's what your kids are going to be laughed at from now on in school. Because of you and your failure and your brothers in arms. And those political people that you guys respect so much because of the money they print you and the benefits you get. Your comfortability has led you to look the way that you do today. All the times you laughed at gang members and pedestrians and druggies, and now look at you. At least they're druggies. You're a child rapist for money and political power. You're a monster that not even God will acknowledge. And the devil just can't wait. See, the devil is created as the key master to hell, which is the giant jail cell. That is his job. Now, you can blame him all you want. You have free will. You went to church all this time laughing, saying that nothing's going to happen, feeling so comfortable in your fucking money. And now look at you. Look at what you've done to your kids and what they're looked at now because of you. Or because your brother's in arms. Is it worth it? That everybody's going to look at your children for what you are? Even in the Bible it says, cursed will be to the damned, the devil followers. For them and their generations, for them and their second to third seeds. They will wither like grass. Psalms 37, read it. And now your kids are going to be looked at because of what they truly are now because of you guys and your failure. So while you're over there saluting everybody and feeling so good about yourself, I want to know, how good was that money now? Because the higher the rank, the more you could have done. That means you're a bigger failure the bigger rank you are. Because you train these people to be just like you instead of what they need to be. See, when you have a giant failure commanding a bunch of people, your failure sprinkles all over the next and the next one. Your failure to your brothers in arms, your failure to your kids, your failure to your spouse, failure to even Father God. A lot of you claim that you're with Father God. You have a lot of faith, but you don't have enough faith to go bring down your own brothers in arms for the sickness that they put you through. And these kids, that's not called faith. That's called comfortability in a church, and that's why 2/3 don't make it. Because you guys are comfortable in your lives. God didn't ask for comfortability, now did he? Look at Paul and the rest of them. He didn't ask for comfortability when he called for it. He asked for men that he created. Now step aside. Step aside and let the real men walk now. Step aside if you're not going to be a man and stand up for these kids or your family now. Step aside and go stay right there on the side of the fucking freeway where you belong. Because real men need to work now. Now it's up to you whether you want to remain a monster, because all of you are being looked at it like that. Or you could be a wolf and show them how hungry you are for justice. Show your family who's hungry. You know how many cops, spouses, and kids are looking at you guys right now? FBI, CIA. To see if their daddy or their mommy is going to be on the news for bringing down their political friends. You know how many of them are waiting? Imagine if they don't get it. How much they're going to disrespect you. How much they're going to hate you. They might even rebuke your blood. Just to join God's side, they will rebuke your blood. Your monster blood. That you injected on yourself. You can't blame nobody for your decisions. You can't blame nobody for your weakness. You have the ability to run through mud, waters, heat, sleet, snow, but you don't have the ability to stop this sickness or have the balls to fucking get rid of these politicians for treason? To create real laws? Well, I'm sorry, but all that training was for nothing then. You wasted all your fucking time just to be looked like this in the end. This is what you worked hard for? To look like this in the end? For your family to look at you for what you look like right now? This is what you worked hard for? This is what you wake up in the morning happy about and excited? Or was the benefits the only thing that was calling you, and now look at what you look like because your brother's in arms? Was the money good? Is the benefits good? Because you know how many poor people could have used that fucking money? You guys print money in a fucking machine. You could have ended fucking starvation. You could have ended the poor pandemic. You could have put fruits and veggies all over the fucking parks and schools. But you chose greed. You could have fucking got money printed out and sent it to the poor and everybody else and give them the same benefits and everything else. It's not like it can't be printed out or put on a fucking card. It's not like rent could have fucking been taken off or utilities also. Just leave the switch on and stop turning it the fuck off. But you know why they do that? So you can join them and be desperate and be looked at like them. So that way they can blend themselves in with you because they know that you probably don't have the balls to do anything anyways. Because you're going to be so comfortable in your life. Now God says, what you reap is what you sow. By the time this is all done, you will reap what you sow. But God says he will give back to you tenfold of what you've done. That means we outnumber you tenfold. Because now people are looking at you for what you really are. People were so paranoid about each other. Didn't know where it was coming from. And now they know the true source. You will be looked at accordingly, and so will your family, your children, your children's children. They will be looked at as raised from child rape money. The higher the rank you are, you will be looked at like that. Do you understand that? You and your seeds. Forever in history, you will be remembered as that. They might even save a specific gravesite just for you as the biggest flaws and ballless. The biggest letdowns to their brothers in arms that they died with at war. Well, you survived, I forgot. But you disturbed their fucking caskets and made them look very bad with your decisions. Look at it like this. You and your partner, they go out to war. Your partner gets shot. He tells you, take care of my family. You go back. The wife is so depressed. Gone. The children are taken away. Where do you think they end up? CPS and foster homes. You let down your brother in arms. Or it's not his wife. It's his sister that didn't join the military and her kids got taken away. You let down his sister. Or his nephew ends up getting taken away because of a little mistake. Because they weren't in the military either. And now something happened to him. You have let down your brother in arms. Bring glory. Bring respect back to them. If there's anything left of you that is of God. Either you have faith and strength from God as his child to stop this fucking problem, or you will not be remembered by God when it is time to see him face to face. Like I said, I'm a lawyer, and I'm going to find every reason to present it to God to say, look at this, look at that, and remember this. And for this long, they've been doing it. For this long, they haven't done shit. And for this long, they've been protecting each other. And God will take into account everything because he writes everything down on his book. Every laugh, every giggle, every time you knew you could have done something and you didn't. Every opportunity. And if you stepped down, you just took away a chance to change things. That means you're still giving the power over to them. That means you have chosen your side. That you do not want God. You chose the devil and his plans instead. Now, that's a cold freeze from Sub-Zero. You're being watched from now on. You're being looked at. Your kids are being looked at. And soon they will be bullied for what you guys are. And what seed and what blood they have flowing through them. What sustains their daily lives. child raped your money. So make fun of those gang members. Make fun of those druggies. Make fun of those drunks. But you're a child rapist. And they have your blood now. Your own kids. Your wife has those cochineros all over her lips and inside her. And no wonder why she hasn't left you. She's already infested with your blood. Or your husband. Whoever it be. You already defiled them with your blood. And now they're being looked at too. And it's all your fault. And your brothers in arms' fault that failed you. You know, at least gang members will kill somebody for making their fucking people dead for no reason. You guys will kill or set up your own. And after all this is done, and nobody wants your kids around theirs, or don't want their kids around you, the only people that your kids are going to be around is your own. Those monsters. Those are the only people that are going to be around your kids. And when people start finding out, all those kids you let down that are adults now, when they find out that it's your kids inside of their places, what do you think might happen? The table turns because of you guys and your failure. Imagine that. Think about that for a second. See, your pastors won't tell you this. You know why? Because they want you to keep going on. Remember that movie, Little Nicky? How Hollywood made fun and said that they got the devil inside of churches now? Now you see why. They misled you. They didn't give you truth for what it is. They forgot to remind you that even God's favorite Israelites were even condemned when they walked away from him. Even his favorites were condemned. So what makes you think that you won't meet condemnation to your face? What makes you think that you're so good that God wouldn't have sent one of his sons of many and the rest of them spreading this message, which are also his kids, to make sure you don't even fucking be looked at right? There's not a crevice in this world that they won't know you about. There's not a crevice on this planet that you can hide from God. And there's not an excuse that you can say that can save you unless you put in action. Think about that for a second. Now, you thought your power and your money and your authority was so good, but you forgot in the church, it even says, Samson brought down the entire government that enslaved his people, even blind. He brought it down in an hour. Well, not even an hour, in a couple of minutes. Jesus told the Pharisees and said, I could bring down Rome in 3 days, and he did. Everybody thought that Goliath was going to rule the earth with the rest of the king with him, and David took him out with one rock and became king in the same seat that wanted him dead. Do you not read these stories? Do you not know that history repeats itself? That God's people will rise no matter what and defeat evil in the quickest manner that they could have ever fucking done it? They could destroy every operation of yours faster than it took for you to build it. You've been building this operation since Bill Clinton. Since the first day he made these cages. And now look at how quickly it was able to be shambled. Now you're standing tall and people are laughing at you. Stick that chest out, monster. So that way God can see your heart and fucking condemn you now. So he could look at your heart and say, I don't know him. Look at that nasty stuff he did. He claims me, but he won't even stop the problem that I presented in front of him. I know him not. That's why they say, fear Father God. These are examples of what he can say. I didn't say that's what he said. But you need to fear God because what he can say. These are just examples. Like I said, I'm a lawyer and I'm trying to make people think about things. The higher the rank, the more you could have done. And probably the more that you make. So you know what that could possibly mean. You probably got more numbers of them kids than anybody else. If you survive that long in there, you must be really loyal. You must be really loyal to them, huh? Well, I hope you and your family are looked at for the rest of the time that it takes for you to actually do something manly. They will be looked at school like this. They will be looked at in the streets like this because of you. No more are we going to allow these kids to have the sadness and the traumas in their eyes because of you and your failures. It's time to look at you for what you are, a fucking failure. And now, here we go. Hey, Mr. High Ranker, I see that shit that you got all over your fucking chest. Take off all those fucking badges. Smear it with shit. You're the biggest failure for allowing this to happen to children everywhere and not doing shit. For allowing your political parties to fucking bribe you with money to turn your back instead of doing something honorable. You are trained to protect the country and you have made us look the most horrible. You are treasonous. You could have had other countries come after us for their children. You are a treasonous person and you have let down the country. You do not deserve those badges or anything. Or matter of fact, keep them, monster. That's your monstrous badge now. No longer does it have honor and respect. It only carries honor and respect amongst those monsters. Not the lower ranks. Not everybody else that you try to sprinkle your shit on. You are looked at for what you are now. A failure to American people. A failure to children. A failure to your family. For allowing an old political agenda. Someone that looks like Hugh Hefner bribe you. And treat you like a Playboy bunny. Bounce. All that for money. You look horrible now. And the world will look at you for what you are. So enjoy the rest of your life. Now the kids' traumas are free because you will be looked at for what you are, and welcome to your new trauma and your new children's trauma. You will be looked at like that now. All the times your family liked to laugh at others just because they had a nice house, nice clothes, nice car, nice everything. It's all purchased with child blood money. You're no longer respected. Until you earn it. Now, I'm doing this because I want my family to have the honor, the respect that they deserve. They worked hard raising us like this, you know? But for the rest of you, where your children won't even stand up, I can see why. I can see why. Because they're just like you. Now, why you would do that to all these kids, I don't know. Why, after Save the Children on Facebook 2 years ago, you guys would take down and act like it was nothing. I don't know. Why those Afghanian kids are missing in CPS. Well, let's just say, they were terrorist children, so fuck them. Let's see how much we can make now. Bring them over. Oh, their parents died in a plane explosion. The strongest bodies, the most capable bodies did not die from the explosion, but the most brittle did survive. Makes a lot of sense. Brittle bodies survived a plane explosion, but not the parents. Capable, strong, willing bodies, huh? That makes sense. Caravans not being abducted or missing for a long time now. You would have seen it on the news. You'd have to have about 200,000 or 300,000 vans missing in order to accumulate for how many kids have gone missing over the couple of years. Even over just 2 years, you would need about 200,000 vans missing. Or 2,000 or $2 million repairing the cages that aren't being cut. You guys spend more money following around some guy than you do investigating who's making these kids go missing. Your eyes are everywhere else, and you're, like I said, all this is making sense. This is actually live in the underground, so even if you try to stop this video, it's not going to stop. It's just going to piss them off even more. And it's being shared to all the lower ranks, because you higher ranks have the big old government TV that lets everybody know about everything, huh? Well, we're going to show it to them so that way they can start working hard and going in there and taking care of business. Because we need real men in there, not monsters. And like I said, there's no escape plan. You know, that underground tunnel that you guys have, that underground base, we could put a bunch of venomous snakes down there. So you'd be trapped in there. Or they could put a valley from the volcano straight down into your guys' front door. And it's a melting pot after that. Lava is hot enough to tear through those metals. You'll just be a giant soup. And you think that they won't have a trigger switch for space? Or somebody ain't gonna break a rock out there? I don't think you want your guts to be moving around everywhere for the rest of your life, do you? Whole reason why celebrities ain't on the moon or other planets, because they love to show off. There's the whole reason why people don't go over there. You know why? Because it's not worth it. And all the political parties are so old, if they went up there, their organs would probably shoot out of their assholes. So of course they can't run there. They can't run to the underground because there's snakes that can be thrown in. And there's a vent that needs to circulate air, so there's always a place to drop the snakes. Or a gas. Or anything. And it's fucked up how you guys fucking do this shit. But what's great is that God's glory is more powerful than you'll ever be. And this is only the middle. This has began for a whole year and a half already. It's been slowly moving and spreading around amongst your family anyways. They've been letting them know and showing them this stuff. You ever wonder why they're looking at you different and start acting different? Think about that. And now, everybody got tired of waiting. This is just for you guys to say, it's time to get to work, or your family's going to be looked at. We're waiting on the news to see which one of your family members is actually honorable and which one isn't. Even your kids are waiting to see what will is worth keeping and which one is worth just destroying and throwing away. You really think that people want to be remembered that their daddy was part of that shit? Or their mommy? Some of your bastards, yes, but the rest of them, no. Some of them are going to be comfortable in their lifestyle like you. Others want to join the fight against pedophilia. I know a lot of you saw your own kids uploading Save the Children, didn't they? Yeah. So don't think for a second they ain't looking at you. Enjoy the rest of your day. What's left of it, at least. But enjoy your new life. Because it's not going to be normal from here on out. I guess the devil knew that God's glory was coming, and he said it's time to collect. That's all you have left to wait for now. Because you have no more respect. Everything you worked hard for was for nothing now. Your own family is being looked at for what you have caused, and will be a laughing stock and a joke for the rest of the years to come, just as you did to gang members, kids, druggies, and alcoholics. But you're worse. You're worse. Because you won't even go to jail like them. So enjoy your new life and feel bad for your kids. Enjoy.